Hi, everyone. My name is Brigadier General retired Rani Finkelstein. I am the former head of the Joint Cyber Defense Division in the IDF, and today I am the General Manager for Cybersecurity Solutions in DriveNets. In the past few years, I led the national campaign. It was a constant learning race. Every move we made, and every move the other side made, changed the situation immediately. This experience didn't just help me to keep up. It allowed me to set the pace and even influence the rules of this dynamic battle of minds. In this session, I will take what I learned in the military world and translate it into lessons for the business world, which I believe is more relevant for most of you here. In cyberspace, just like in any other battlefield, blue, the defenders, and red, the attackers, are in constant learning race. Each side studies the other, learns first, and changes its moves. We must recognize this dynamic and include it in every action we take and every decision we made. In this presentation, I will focus on 3 points: the current situation, this ongoing learning race, the change I believe we need to make, and how this change will reshape the defense mission. Maybe the real answer is that we need to change the game we are playing. The learning race in cyberspace is different from any other domain. Cyber is always on. Red and blue teams meet in real time, 24/7. The main friction doesn't only happen in declared cyber wars. It happens every single day across the whole cyberspace. I remember one specific event very well. At first, we saw it as a big success. We eliminate the threat. But later, we understood something important. The price we paid, because we exposed some capabilities, led the adversary to learn from this event more than we thought. Because in the end, it's a peer-to-peer training, and the technological progress only speeds up this race. And usually, the attacking side is able to adopt new technologies faster. So what can we do? Today, there are several ways to stay ahead in this learning race. These ways are different, but they work together. The most important one, in my opinion, is this. We must use a disciplined and proactive process to find our own weaknesses and blind spots before the other side finds them. By bridging together data from many different sensors and domains, we turn raw information into real, useful intelligence. This gives us 2 big advantages. We can decide faster, and we can decide more accurately. For defenders, it's critical to adopt new methods and new capabilities quickly, but of course, responsibly. We need a culture that learns by doing, accepts mistakes, and does not avoid direct contact with the enemy. And of course, we have to adopt disruptive technology to our advantage. We saw it today. You can't give a presentation without mentioning AI. So AI, it's a huge opportunity for defenders too. In the IDF, we turn these words into a real operational capability. Last but not least, we need to measure success in a way that rewards learning just as much as it rewards performance. But even with all of this, we still cannot promise there will never be a cyber incident. We also cannot promise that we will catch every single one. So the current approach is not enough. 0 bad bits is no longer realistic. So where do we go from here? We do everything we can to prevent incidents, but some will still happen. So the real question is, what's happened next? We must be able to keep our operations running, even while we are dealing with a cyber event. That means that we need to prioritize resilience over perfection. I'm using here the word victory from the military world, where it simply means success. Now, I want to move to the business world and focus on the business success. In our case, the business resilience. Resilience is a broad idea. It's about keeping the business running as a result of both offensive, CNA, and intelligence gathering, the CNE, cyber activity. Now, and this is the main idea in this overview, I believe we need to shift the 0 point. Right now, you can see that the origin of the access is on tech. We are starting from tech-first view. This is how cyber defense has grown for years. We look at systems, tools, data flows, and only then ask how they connect back to the business. But we need to change the origin of our access from tech-first view to a business-first view. This is how from now on, the business processes is the starting point. It defines what really matters, and it drives how we design our cyber defense and resilience. We don't secure technology. We need to secure what the technology enables for the business. And if we will go a little bit to practice, so when we shift the reference point, our perspective changes. The business processes, rather than the technology stack, now shape the security strategy. Accordingly, our objective moves from counting incidents to maximizing uptime. Success is measured by recovery time objective, recovery point objective, the amount of data an organization can afford to lose, and the mean time to repair. But to repair the business workflow, not of any single system. We need to concentrate on revenue at risk, and the entire risk management model evolves to reflect this new reality. And if we will move on to operation, when we plan cyber defense, we must start from the end-to-end business process. What keeps running, what can fail, where it's fragile. This often means changing our architecture, so critical operations continue even during a cyber incident. In the IDF, for instance, we analyzed operational processes and prioritize our effort and budget accordingly. We also add the cyber training to all the exercise. So not only cyber teams, but also commanders, managers had to make decisions in crisis under uncertainty while the cyber incident was unfolding. And if we will move on to governance, under governance, we must ensure a resilient supply chain, which is a big threat today, meet higher security and compliance standards, and build a culture where resilience is a core shared value. But again, when we change our perspective, things that look secondary before can suddenly become critical. In my case, we analyze the alarm system. It's a full process, from the radar in the Air Force all the way to the alert on your phone. We secure it end-to-end and made sure there are multiple backup solutions to keep it resilient. We define and enforce new requirements on critical assets in the process, even when they are not directly under our responsibility. And there are many other scenarios like this. The CISO may do a great job securing the networks, but the business processes can still fail. There are real and growing risks. A new perspective exposes hidden risk and push known assets higher on the priority list. It demands a broader, more integrated and to resilience and governance. This change of mindset must also reach senior leadership. Cybersecurity can't be seen only as a cost center anymore. It is a strategic driver that directly affects the profit, the brand, and trust. The whole executive team needs to be ready for a cyber incident. That means taking part in simulations and feeling what it's like to make tough decisions under uncertainty. It's about leadership under pressure, working together across functions, and making smart, risk-based decisions in real time. Cyber resilience is no longer just a security team's job. It's now a core responsibility of the boardroom. In the past, our goal was to protect the king, to prevent any damage to the network. And if something happened, to detect it immediately and to stop it. But the rules of the game have changed. We have to move forward and accept that we will be hit. It might be an attempt to disrupt the business processes. It might be a data theft. Our main goal now is to stay on our feet and make sure the business keeps running and functioning, even while a cyber incident is happening. The reality is changing. The threat is more complex. Our business processes are distributed and depend on many different players. We cannot stretch the old definition. We need to move from tech first to business first. Assume that something will happen and to be able to keep the business running during cyber incidents and recover the business processes as fast as possible. We also need to review our definitions. For example, does the term CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, still reflect its full responsibility? I don't think it does, and I encourage you to reassess some assumptions in your organization. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.